TV soap news and spoilers say that in the quiet town of Serenity Hills, where the sun sets slowly behind rolling emerald hills and the community thrives on whispered gossip and neighborly bonds, the drama of Beyond the Gates unfolds with a pulse that quickens the hearts of its viewers. At the center of this storm stands Derek, a man whose rugged charm and quiet strength have made him a local legend, a firefighter with a hero's heart, a man who runs into danger when others flee. But beneath his stoic exterior lies a secret so heavy it threatens to unravel the life he's built, the relationships he cherishes, and the very identity he clings to. As we dive into the intricate layers of Derek's story, we uncover a tale of vulnerability, deception, and the desperate search for truth in a world where appearances are everything. A moment that changed everything. It was a crisp autumn evening when the incident occurred, an accident so seemingly innocuous that it could have been brushed off as a fleeting moment in the grand tapestry of life. Asley, with her infectious laugh and a heart full of dreams, tripped during a lively gathering at the community center. Her fall was graceless, her body tumbling forward, and in a twist of fate, she landed squarely on Derek's leg. The room froze for a split second, glasses clinked, conversations paused, and all eyes turned to the scene unfolding. Derek's face contorted, not in pain, but in a jolt of surprise that betrayed something deeper. He could feel her weight on his leg. The sensation was unmistakable, a tingling rush that coursed through nerves he had long believed dormant. For months, Derek had lived with the weight of a diagnosis that had shattered his world: paralysis, the doctors had said, a cruel consequence of a firefighting mission gone awry. A collapsed beam, a roaring inferno, and a split-second decision to save a trapped child had left him confined to a wheelchair, his once powerful legs reduced to lifeless limbs. The town had rallied around him, their hero, showering him with sympathy, casseroles, and unwavering support. Asley, in particular, had become a constant presence in his life, her visits a blend of compassion and something more, a spark that neither could fully name but both felt simmering beneath the surface. Yet, that moment when Asley's weight pressed against his leg sparked a revelation that Derek could scarcely believe. The sensation wasn't a fluke. Later that night, alone in his modest home, he tested it. He struck his leg lightly with his fist, then harder, each tap sending a faint but undeniable signal to his brain. The feeling was returning. It was faint, inconsistent, but real. His heart raced with a mixture of hope and dread. Was this a miracle, a sign that his body was healing? Or was it a cruel trick, a fleeting glimmer of recovery that would vanish as quickly as it appeared? Derek's mind spun, caught in a whirlwind of possibilities, each more daunting than the last. The weight of a secret. Derek's life had always been defined by action, running toward danger, lifting others out of harm's way, being the man who never faltered. But now, he was faced with a dilemma that no amount of physical strength could resolve. Should he tell Asley the truth? The thought gnawed at him, a relentless specter that haunted his quiet moments. Asley had been his rock, her presence a beacon of light in the darkness of his recovery. She wasn't just there out of pity, he told himself. Her laughter, her gentle touches, the way her eyes lingered on his, they spoke of something deeper, something real. But what if her affection was tied to his vulnerability? What if the truth about his returning sensation changed everything? The alternative was equally troubling. Derek could keep his secret, bury it deep within the recesses of his heart, and let Asley continue to see him as the injured hero who needed her care. It wasn't entirely a lie, he reasoned. The sensation in his legs was inconsistent, unreliable. The doctors had warned him that recovery, if it came at all, would be a long and uncertain road. Perhaps he still needed physical therapy, perhaps he wasn't truly healed. And yet, the temptation to lean into the attention Asley lavished upon him was undeniable. Her visits brought warmth to his days, her concern a balm to his wounded pride. For a man who had spent his life saving others, being the one cared for was a strange and intoxicating sensation. But Derek was a firefighter, a man forged in the crucible of duty and honor. His hero complex, as some in town called it, was more than just bravado, it was the core of who he was. To lie, to manipulate Asley's feelings by hiding the truth, felt like a betrayal of everything he stood for. Yet, the fear of losing her, of seeing her walk away once she knew he might not need her anymore, was a weight heavier than any beam he'd ever lifted. The internal battle raged within him, a clash of truth and temptation, honor and desire, that left him sleepless and restless. The catalyst, Shanice's words. The drama escalated when Shanice, Asley's vivacious and outspoken best friend, entered the fray. Over coffee at the local diner, where the scent of fresh pies mingled with the hum of small-town gossip, Shanice dropped a bombshell. "You and Derek aren't a couple," she told Asley, her voice laced with mischief. "You should go for it, girl. He's always been your man." The words hung in the air like a challenge, and Asley's cheeks flushed with a mix of embarrassment and hope. Shanice's encouragement was a spark that ignited Asley's resolve, pushing her to confront her feelings for Derek head-on. For Derek, Shanice's words were both a gift and a curse. They confirmed what he had suspected, that Asley's feelings for him were more than platonic, that her care extended beyond duty to something deeper, something that made his heart ache with possibility. But they also intensified the pressure of his secret. If Asley pursued him now, believing him to be the injured hero she could save, what would happen when the truth came out? Would she feel betrayed, manipulated? Would she see him as a fraud, a man who had exploited her kindness for his own gain? Derek's mind churned with scenarios, each more vivid and dramatic than the last. He imagined Asley's face crumpling in hurt, her eyes filled with accusations as she learned he'd hidden the truth. He pictured her walking away, her footsteps echoing in the empty space of his life. But he also envisioned a different outcome, one where he confessed, where he bared his soul and told her about the faint sensations in his legs, the hope and fear that consumed him. In this version, Asley stayed, her hand in his, her belief in him unshaken. The uncertainty was maddening, a tightrope he walked with no safety net below. The hero's dilemma. As days turned into weeks, Derek's secret became a living thing, a shadow that followed him everywhere. At the fire station, where he still visited to keep up morale, his colleagues treated him with a mix of reverence and pity. They didn't know about the sensations in his legs, didn't know that their hero was wrestling with a choice that could redefine him. Derek's identity as a firefighter, as the man who always did the right thing, was at odds with the temptation to maintain the status quo. He liked the way Asley looked at him, the way her presence made him feel alive in a way he hadn't since the accident. But every moment he kept silent felt like a step away from the man he wanted to be. The town of Serenity Hills, with its idyllic streets and tight-knit community, became a stage for Derek's internal drama. Every interaction with Asley was fraught with tension, every touch a reminder of the truth he withheld. When she brought him homemade soup, her smile bright and unguarded, he felt the weight of his deception like a stone in his chest. When she sat beside him, her hand resting lightly on his arm, he wanted to confess everything, to lay bare his fears and hopes. But the words caught in his throat, trapped by the fear of what might come next. Derek began to experiment in secret, testing his legs in the privacy of his home. He would sit in his wheelchair, his heart pounding, and tap his thighs, press his feet against the floor, searching for any sign that the sensations were growing stronger. Some days, he felt nothing, and despair would creep in, whispering that he was fooling himself. Other days, the tingles were stronger, a promise of recovery that made his pulse race. He researched physical therapy techniques online, wondering if he could accelerate the process, if he could reclaim the life he'd lost. But the uncertainty remained. Would he ever walk again, or was this a cruel tease, a false hope that would leave him broken once more? The crossroads of truth and deception. The climax of Derek's story came during a quiet evening at his home, when Asley arrived unannounced, her eyes bright with determination. She had taken Shanice's words to heart, and she was ready to confess her feelings. The air between them crackled with unspoken tension as she sat across from him, her hands twisting nervously in her lap. "Derek," she began, her voice trembling, "I need to tell you something." I care about you. More than I probably should. And I think you feel something too. The moment was electric, a turning point that could reshape their lives. Derek's heart thudded in his chest, his mind racing with the weight of his secret. This was his chance to tell the truth, to confess that he might be healing, that he wasn't the helpless man she thought he was. But the words wouldn't come. Instead, he saw the vulnerability in her eyes, the courage it had taken for her to speak, and he couldn't bear the thought of shattering her trust. So he smiled, a soft, reassuring smile, and reached for her hand. Asley, he said, his voice low, I care about you too. The lie hung between them, unspoken but heavy. Derek told himself it wasn't a lie, not really. He wasn't certain he was healing, wasn't certain he could walk again. But deep down, he knew he was crossing a line, stepping into a gray area where truth and deception blurred. He wanted to be the man Asley saw, the hero she believed in, even if it meant hiding a part of himself. A hero's path forward. As Beyond the Gates continues to unfold, Derek's story is far from over. His secret is a ticking time bomb, a truth that will inevitably come to light. Will he find the courage to tell Asley, to risk her trust for the sake of honesty? Or will he cling to the illusion, letting her believe he's still the injured hero who needs her care? The choice is a crucible, one that will test not only his character but the bonds he's formed in Serenity Hills. For now, Derek remains a man caught between two worlds, the hero he's always been and the man he's afraid to become. His journey is a reminder that even heroes falter, that even the strongest hearts can waver in the face of love and fear. As viewers, we wait with bated breath, eager to see whether Derek will choose the path of truth and justice, or whether he'll succumb to the allure of a lie that feels so much like love. In the quiet town of Serenity Hills, where secrets simmer beneath the surface, Derek's story is a testament to the power of human connection, and the devastating consequences of hiding who we truly are.